Give me a second to find this video. I haven't been live for a while. Let's just say I'm on vacation from Facebook, so I thought I would try to go live on here. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this feed up and I'm going to share it out. I want to talk a little bit about the energies, things going on. We seem to have a lot kind of unfolding with the collective. I want to, in this video, take a step away from some of the third dimensional perspective people are getting and kind of give you my perspective and kind of talk about how this kind of pertains to the awakening consciousness, where this could lead us. So give me a second to pull this up. I brought some cards too. I thought I could share some good vibes, do some cards. Just give me 1 minute to share this out and I'll get started. I thought I could also give you guys some tips on living a quarantined life, right? So a lot of you guys are kind of going through a lot of big adjustments right now as we're kind of adjusting to, we'll say, some of the things that are unfolding across the collective. So I thought I could share some healing tips with you that might really help also with some of the things that are kind of unfolding with the collective. So if you're just finding me, also take a second to share this feed out. It always helps a lot. My phone's being slow to load. Hang on. All right. So if you're going to want a card, I brought two different types. I did bring Starseed cards and I brought Angel Prayer cards. But I am going to be first talking a little bit about the collective because it is very much needed during this time. So give me a second to find this video to share it out. All right, I want to talk a little bit about these quarantines and what is actually happening. Because I think that there's a lot kind of going on, or we can say a lot playing out in one place. And, you know, a lot of people are focused on certain things and they kind of have tunnel vision with everything kind of going on in the collective. So I thought I could give you some insight as to what I'm experiencing and what I'm going through, because at times that can be helpful for other people. We're all going through the same experience, I swear, right? Doesn't matter what kind of lessons you have and what kind of path you're on. We're kind of all still experiencing the same collective. But despite that, you guys are playing a role of a story. That's what we do here in Earth School, right? You guys will never play a greater role than the one that you are playing now as yourself. You can probably see from your past that we are really given lessons on an individual level, right? So sometimes I might have gone through something really different than you guys, and each soul kind of needs different things to learn and grow. So we tend to see maybe negative experiences playing out in the collective, and we're like, oh my God, I hope that doesn't happen to me, right? But it's important to remember that literally we're writing our own story. And literally, we can always choose where we're going, where we're headed with these kind of things. I saw a post this morning saying that, oh, I'm surprised no one has predicted these kind of events that are unfolding. But this is everything that we talk about on a daily basis. Let's set aside the label coronavirus for a moment. I think that we can see that there has been an increase in illnesses occurring on this planet. And I wouldn't be here if these systems were helping people. So we see that, you know, already prior to this, we'll call it pandemic, because that's really what it is. It's less of a virus, more of a pandemic going on, that literally we already had a system failure that was occurring because a lot of people are realizing that our healthcare systems are more giving you a treatment that's going to probably last your whole life as opposed to actually curing these things. They haven't had the capability to be doing that. This is what is going to happen as, we'll say, billions of people are attempting to stay in a low frequency while all of these ascension energies are coming into the planet. So I've always had a concern about people not being, we say, detoxed enough, right? Not being purified enough. And that's what it's going to come down to. Sometimes people have a really hard time with these concepts because of religious programming that we had. I had someone come to my inbox and they had, you know, some negativity in their life. And I said, I think this sounds very karmic. And they said, I am a good person. I am a mother. I am a Christian. I don't have bad karma. This couldn't happen to me. What are you talking about, right? And they left. But I want to talk about how, yes, we all take on karma. And even the collective has taken on a certain karmic role this life that is going to continue to play out. We take on these experiences so that our soul can learn how to grow. I think that a lot of people are being told to stay inside right now, and I don't think that we're being really shown the whole story, because if you turn on the news, you're going to get a very third dimensional perspective. They're going to tell you you're probably going to die and you're going to get sick, and now they're projecting a lot of kind of negativity too. What was most concerning to me is a lot of posts talking about blackouts and the power going out and the internet going out and all of this kind of negative stuff, and I don't understand how people could want that in their reality as we're going through these experiences. We're also being tested. This is really nothing more than a system alert test to see where people are at as well. I don't think that people realize the effects that this shutdown has already had on society until the quarantines are up and people kind of emerge and try to go back to their normal lives. Life as we know it isn't going to go back to normal. We are going to experience a serious collapse of the material now. And I think we're already starting to see that, where people are figuring out that we can see a lot of, we'll say, life as we know it is changing and shifting right now around us. Anything non-essential is really on the way out the door. But, a lot of those things that are deemed non-essential are things that we're used to, whether it's clothing, right? Sneakers, electronics, going to stores, going to shops, things like that. That's all going to kind of, I guess, come to a collapse. We have a lot going on as well, as many people are out of work and everyone's expecting the government to save them as usual, but the government is not going to be able to bail out every person on this planet. And if you guys are expecting that, then we might need to really go within and kind of figure out what we're all kind of doing there a little more, right? So a lot of people are going to be expecting the government to be the solution during this time, but this is kind of too catastrophic on such a level that they're not going to be able to handle it in the way that people think either. So we have a lot of people that have been sent home as non-essential workers and are no longer getting a paycheck. A lot of people are getting paid sick pay to be out of work, and that will run out ultimately. And then we have the essential workers who, I see on the magazines are like, you are a hero going to work if you are a nurse. I think that these type of people that are going to work and exposing themselves to things like this are, that's not good either. So, I know in our house we're talking about the changes that we are going through and experiencing and having very real conversations like, well, is it worth it to go to work and be exposing ourselves to something like this, to be one of those essential workers? And I know a lot of people are kind of feeling the same. I would like to talk about where these viruses are affecting people the most. Hospitals, right? Where do they have essential workers? Hospitals, jails, prisons, those all have a really low frequency, and they tend to attract kind of different kind of negative energies and things like that. So we see a lot of, the essential workers are in areas like this. How do people know they have coronavirus? There hasn't been any testing. They can test to see if you have the flu, but there has yet to be any like large scale testing that I've seen. The testing that they do have is an 80% flag for false positive. So I'm kind of concerned about some of these statistics too. It doesn't surprise me because in my reality, everyone is right on schedule to be purging and sick and not feeling good just with the ascension alone. So it's kind of hard for me to kind of discern everything going on as well, because I know that they haven't really caught up with science and things like that. But I will tell you what I've kind of taken in from this. I believe that there is a real virus going through the matrix. Maybe some of you guys knew that already, and it's just becoming more apparent, and we're just seeing more too as we're kind of, we'll say, going beyond these veils. Maybe we're just seeing more as well. So it doesn't really shock me. We are a society that is not exactly spiritually purified. We are full of toxins, metals, things like that. And so it's going to be really hard for us to go through these ascension energies harder and harder without having done a lot of healing. I can give you some insight too, because I would say we had some type of government virus, right? We can look at the coronavirus as like, what government virus? It was a man-made virus that was unleashed. People are finger pointing as to where it actually came from, but it serves an elite agenda. That's why I have such real concerns that there was already a depopulation agenda going on, and it just kind of took it up a notch. And that was always their solution for global warming as well, that we could, get rid of a bunch of people. And if we look around, I'm watching like the death statistics climb and things like that. Some of this doesn't appear to be so good from my perspective, right, doesn't appear to be all good. All right, so I think we've had a lot of exposure to different viruses. Yes, a lot of them have been created in labs and they're being put in every vaccine and some types of healthcare and things like that. And so I have really real concern about people that are full of just metals alone or viruses and things like that, that as we're going through these energies, they could be activating these things also within. All right, so I think that we can all finger point where these things came from. My boyfriend does have vaccinated children, and I believe they got really sick from probably being injected with viruses in their vaccines, right? They suddenly got these viruses, and they were really hard to get rid of. I would love to know what they were, but they don't actually have testing for these things, like I said, right? But as someone who's into holistic health, we did the usual, right? We get the vitamins, and these were things that were kind of nasty, and they kept kind of coming back. I think that coronavirus will be like that, where a lot of people are like, oh, I cured myself, and it doesn't exactly go away. It can kind of be a reoccurring thing. I think it's interesting that they changed the name of coronavirus from virus to disease now, because a lot of people were saying, well, coronavirus is in our medical textbooks and is kind of like a common flu, right? And so they were like, no, this is something different. This is a disease. Things like that. I also think that if they're expecting millions of people to die, that is very interesting. They already named this virus in 2019, and they didn't really seem to be telling anyone until it was already kind of going around the planet, kind of well into 2020 as well, right? And things like that. All right, holistic things are working best. This is my favorite part, that these people are going to the hospitals and trying to be treated, and guess what? Antibiotics don't work for a virus. It is also impossible to make a vaccine for any type of virus, including our regular flus, literally. So what are people injecting themselves with? Mainly mercury viruses, things that are going through the collective, things that are not good for people. So it is actually impossible to make any type of vaccine, because viruses mutate with each person. This virus already has many times, things like that. There isn't any magic solution. The things that have been working best are holistic treatments for people. We're noticing that vitamin C intravenously is also a cure for AIDS and HIV, but most people don't know these things because we've actually had a cure for every disease there is. But, most people are not aware these things are being suppressed, even cancers. Yes, swear, right? We're living in a society that is profiting off of our sickness, literally. So the things that are working, antibiotics will not work on these things, right? People are noticing that, but they're noticing they're having really good response with a Z-Pak and some antibiotics used to treat the flu. That could tell you this may be a common flu, right? Things like that. We're also noticing that vitamin C, like I said, liquid or, medical grade is really good for this kind of stuff, right? Maybe this is radiation exposure. People are asking these kind of questions all over my feed, and everyone is pointing the finger at 5G lately, and you guys are giving away too much power to these receivers and things like that. This is ascension. These are the energies. We're all getting exposed to high levels of radiation. We will either mutate and evolve, and our DNA will literally change, and we will turn into a new species of humans, or our DNA will break down and kill us going through this process. I see a lot of people that have already caught on to these ideas, like maybe I need some colloidal silver, or the things that we would normally treat radiation poisoning with. I think that's the worst idea, that if we're trying to block these cosmic rays and this radiation, that it won't mutate us in the way that we need, and it could actually be worse for us. This is a process we need to just go through. Literally, we can't hide from these energies. They have us all trapped inside, like we should be hiding from the energies, and it's that dangerous, and that will keep us safe if we're not outside breathing the air right now, right? And things like that. But that's the worst thing to do. We should be getting outside, connecting with nature, taking vitamins, detoxing, using this space to heal. And everyone wasn't really aligned with those ideas, we can see, right? A lot of people are really in the material and just into their lives and running around. And this quarantine is going to make everyone stop. It's also going to really affect a lot of the planet. We're going to see a collapse, as I said. The banks are already having major issues, and what generally happens, I haven't gone through this in my life, but what generally happens is the people that don't have money to pay their mortgages could lose their houses going through something like this, because the banks are so affected that they could literally start to we'll say, recall their mortgages and things like that. So I don't know if people understand the scope that not the virus is having, but the shutdown of the planet and all commerce and jobs as we know it and things like that could have clearly a bigger effect. And we have a lot of countries that are advising, kind of debating about how to handle these kind of things. And we'll say having like very real debates about this. What's going to happen is a lot of people are waiting till they get sick to try to heal. That sounds familiar, right? They want to wait till they get sick and really start to heal and try to treat these things. We know that by then it could be really hard to heal something if you're already like letting your body get so kind of out of control. So it is very important that we are taking herbs, detox things are good for us. I can tell you that things like apple cider vinegar were not really having an effect on this, we call it a virus, right? On this virus and things like that. And you would think like, the elderberry and the apple cider vinegar and the usual go-to things like garlic, blue vervain, the things that I'm into weren't really having an effect on this. So it might be something different than people are being told as well. Yes, I understand it is creating a virus in your RNA, right? And doing this to your body, but possibly this could be large-scale radiation exposure. And I'm not talking about from any type of technology. I mean from these natural energies as they're kind of pouring into the planet. At the least, we have people that are very used to a low frequency, and suddenly your body is trying to go up in frequency so fast. And we know that you can't do that overnight. This has been a gradual process for the people that have been awake and doing the inner work and kind of, into this stuff and living this different lifestyle. And I think that the people that haven't been doing this work, their bodies may or may not be able to keep up, right? So this is a really important time for humanity. People think, well, I'm a good person, this won't affect me, right? Christian programming. I'm a good person. This won't affect me. But the universe is always responding to our vibrational frequency. And we can really see that. The frequencies are going up really, really fast. All right. So this is pretty much from our last shift that we're seeing, I guess, the coronavirus come out of it, right? And we're getting ready for some more massive shifts right now. That's why I'm coming on video. So we are going to go through the 4-4 portal on Saturday, which is going to be a really, really powerful energy. We also are going to have a lot of lunar energy streaming in with this portal. Let's see, I'm trying to find the video. So we're about to go through some massive shifts this year. Literally, we're going through a lot of upgrades. If you guys are at home, literally, you guys might need to embrace this new lifestyle. And people are like, what? Yeah, you might be there a while. They're having different conversations about how long these quarantines will last. I know Trump had everyone really excited that they would be out of quarantine by April, Easter or whatever. But now they're saying that America could be quarantined for a year. The UK could be locked down for 6 months. I think that, there's a real concern going on behind the scenes, and the entire planet was shut down on such a massive level. A lot of people are saying this must be something else happening behind the scenes. Well, we have a lot playing out behind the scenes as well, but yes, this is actually a virus. People are getting sick with something, right? And whatever. So a lot of people have a lot of conspiracy theories kind of going around. I think it's important that we are having these talks. Like, could this be from the energy? Could this be from radiation? Right, that these kind of things are happening. I think it's important to remember a lot of people are panicked and scared right now. Like, I'm going to die from coronavirus. Please remember you planned out every second of your life in this experience. Yes, I swear, from birth to death, literally. And that's like us sitting around and being scared of getting cancer or getting any kind of sickness. And, these are kind of lessons of the third dimension. Yes, you can get ascension symptoms while you're going through the ascension path. But for the most part, hopefully you're taking better care of yourself and you're not experiencing the same things that the souls in the third dimension are kind of going through as well, which would be like sickness, right? Kind of lack, things like that. Those are all kind of things that spirituality are meant to kind of fill and work on as well. All right, someone asked me, like, are you okay yesterday? I'm like in my pajamas, right? I was like in my pajamas, like I'm fine. So I am off of Facebook for the next 2 weeks off of live videos. I will be doing a live guided meditation on Saturday through my site on Facebook, though, in a private group. I think it's very important that we're coming together now to meditate. We can really assist the collective, I swear, right? We could really be assisting the collective. I know that we are quarantined. We can come together in online groups like this still. We can be meditating in our own personal life that will really help the collective. I did get some really amazing messages yesterday about staying focused with how you would like your life to look after this quarantine, right? That gives us hope that we're going back to some semblance of our lives, right? Because, I had a lot of things, we'll say, canceled and plans canceled because of this kind of things going on, right? So I'm still kind of trying to adapt and kind of things like that. But we are meant to stay focused on the new world and the new collective and how we want that to look. For me, it's been easy. I've always just dreamed of a world where everyone could be healthy, healthy and happy. And I think that there's a lot kind of happening on the planet, and people look at this like this is a really negative thing. I believe it is too. I believe that the elite unleashed this virus, and it's always been part of their deeper agenda, and so that scares a lot of people too. And I think that there's a lot of, dangerous ideas and things that come out of these type of things, but this is literally our path as light workers. This is why we came here, why we would volunteer to learn on this planet. And so they've taught us that we can't really make a difference, but we can. Literally, it's really important that you guys are working on your own vibrational frequency, right? And I know they have us kind of extra quarantined right now, and people are meant to be social creatures. I believe that we're meant to be vibrating and finding our flow and working, right, and manifesting, and that's how we kind of are living at our core. And so everyone is already kind of in a state of separateness. Depending on where their level of consciousness is, there's a lot of people that are feeling separate from the whole right now, maybe alone, I don't have anyone, and kind of going through those experiences. And then when they quarantine everyone, right, it doesn't really help because we are meant to be one. And I might be having my own experience here, but I'm still contributing to the collective, and so are you, and we're still sharing this entire collective consciousness. So the best thing that we can do is to continue to work on our vibrational frequency, literally. You guys won't be worried about a virus if you guys are detoxing and feeling good, right? You'll be good, right? They talk about, these things can only affect you on a low frequency, and if we could elevate our frequency high enough, these kind of things won't affect us. But I do want to share my perspective, because I said that we kind of got sick with the same kind of thing before this, and I believe it was from the energies, that I was in some very high frequency type of energy places, and it was a lot of my body to go through. So when we're talking about going from the third dimensional kind of body type to a fifth dimensional one so kind of fast, and changing our vibrational frequency, our body is changing at the core of who we are. We are going through from a literal closed heart chakra while asleep to this huge expansion, especially in the heart chakra, right? We're breathing in these energies. Like I said, people can't hide from ascension, where it doesn't matter if you wear the mask, you stay inside. These are the new energies, and our body has to go through a huge upgrade, and this doesn't happen overnight. So literally, I would love to know more about some of why are all the radiation things working so good for treating this virus, things like that, right? I believe that I already know the answer, and I can go to a different kind of story that I met my boyfriend because he was having, we'll say, some problems adjusting to some of the energies. We're really energy sensitive, but in different ways. I know that he had high levels of radiation exposure. And so, I was trying to help heal him and kind of, show him the things that I used to detox. And that's how we actually met and kind of aligned. But to the degree where he had, we'll say, radiation burns on his skin. I see a lot of people getting that, where they'll have skin issues, whether you're itchy, you have rashes. A lot of people are getting rashes because we all process energy in a different type of way. We can see a lot of people with upset stomach this week, right? Maybe solar plexus purging, maybe chest pain, tightness in the heart chakra, just feeling a lot there, feeling it in your chest. A lot of people are getting headaches, right? Oh my God, headaches, head expansion. We're going to go through an actual huge physical expansion of the head, the brain, these energy centers, right? And things like that. So people are at different places, but they're all kind of processing these energies in the same way. I kind of feel like I fell into like a wormhole too, right? Like I put a post up on my page about how they want to put Stonehenge in a bubble now, a bubble, in a protective bubble. And I kind of feel like, what happened that last shift? Like, did I fall in some kind of weird, like, parallel earth? What is even happening, right? So I know a lot of people are feeling like that. Yes, we're making huge quantum shifts. This is just a, we'll say, stopover on our journey, and we have a huge destination ahead of us. Remember, it is meant to lead us somewhere positive. And I know a lot of people think that they're happy with the way the world was, but it is an outdated third dimensional system that was not built for highly evolved spiritual beings, right? We see a lot of our systems are centered around things like, criminals, right? Criminals, prosecuting people, things like that, kind of lower vibrational things. And I feel that as we are going through this internal change, and every cell in your body is changing, this internal change, the outer reality is going to have to reflect that more and more as well, right? And so we're seeing like a lot kind of happening, and we're watching a lot of things crumble in real time. Remember, that doesn't mean that you're going to have the same experience as everyone else in this collective, right? I don't believe that these viruses are being transmitted like they're saying, where you need to avoid everyone. I know everyone looks at me like I have the plague when I'm grocery shopping here, and that's okay. I don't believe that. I believe it has a lot more to do with the collective consciousness, ascension, the energies coming into the planet, things like that, than what they're telling you on their, we'll say, news, which is of a very third dimensional kind of perspective, right? Where it's all kind of like fear and oh my God and things like that, for sure. All right. So quarantine tips. A lot of you guys have children out of school. Awesome. Good. These schools were not serving them. I can remember a lot of this is indoctrination, where they are teaching children how to compete, promoting separateness, things like that. We're going to turn more and more into a higher state of consciousness on this planet. Sometimes I like to think about the astral and the dream worlds to kind of understand where we're going, right? And understand also states of consciousness, right? Because when we go to sleep, we're always in our state of consciousness, and we've been going through huge shifts this life and where we're headed. And it's going to turn more into like a apparent dream state where we're literally dreaming. This is an astral realm. And so, some of these things are no longer serving us. A lot of people are shifting their kids, I keep saying, into online schools, right? Getting educational movies, educational games, and kind of things like that. But, that's not much different than what we've already been doing in our life, in our house here, right? So a lot of people are suddenly, figuring out they might need some zinc, vitamin C. It's been working best on this. Like I said, I think that this is radioactive energy, and it's having a huge impact on our body, and it can break down our immune system. And I've seen that with a lot of the people that were sick. I've seen people where their immune system actually began to attack themselves just from the ascension energies. So it's really important that we're taking good care of ourselves right now, that we're taking good care of our immune system too. I'm always huge on, like I said, vitamin C, zinc, the chlorella, the turmeric. So, I think that a lot of the online stores that are still open are going to close down. Like, I'm not sure. I hope not, right? I hope not. But I could foresee that this could really have like I said, a global impact. So right now I can still use Amazon UK and get vitamins here. And so I went on there and was like stocking up on like turmeric, ginger, right? All the detox vitamins, apple cider vinegar, just to make sure I had those. Like I said, the usual antivirals are not working on these kind of things. So it tells me it might be something different, right? Because we're having more success in treating these things with different kind of, vitamins. Like I said, I would stock up on vitamins right now. If you guys need anything other than food for the next year of your lives, because we could experience more of a shutdown than we're already in, other than food, because you'll be able to get that at your grocery store, clearly, right? What is there, right? You'll be able to get that. But if you guys really do need anything for your house, your kids, right, to really make it through this, we'll say, place where we are in consciousness, you guys might want to like get some vitamins if you need them, things that are good for you, right? You guys probably have more free time if you are at home. Make sure you guys are putting it into the spiritual. That's going to be the antidote for this virus, right? The spiritual, literally, where a lot of people are full of attachments and things like that. And as these energies are kind of flaring things up within, those kind of things are really gonna become more and more, noticeable as well, and things like that. All right, so detoxing really helps. It will make it so you don't get sick, right? Right, and I started this journey sick. I tell everyone that. I got really sick, right, just from the healthcare that I had, because I was in a bad car accident and I had more healthcare than the average person. So I think that, when they're talking about who is susceptible to this, we'll say illness, because I don't like the word virus, is illness. We talk about people that already have pre-existing conditions or a weakened immune system and things like that. So this will be really hard for them to go through these energies, more so if you're already sick, because it can amplify these things and things like that. So it is important that we're healing. I always think that if you do a ton of detoxing, that you'll be cool and all this. Is the reason I get on video every day and try to tell people, please detox more, please work on purifying yourselves more, so that you do stay safe going through this transition. All right. Melissa Magical, love it. Falling into my arms, and I'm going to give you guys 2 cards each, because there isn't a lot of people here. So Melissa, fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. How many people had plans for this year? me, tons of them, right? So I did cancel my Stonehenge equinox. I see they want to put a bubble over Stonehenge, right? And things like that. They want to put us in a bubble now, right? To protect these things. I bet it's emitting a lot of energy in these places too. I bet they'd love to put it under a dome, right? But how many people had plans? How many people are trying to manifest and to kind of pick up the pieces of their life and things like that? So I did have a lot of plans that we had to set on hold during this. I think that tells us that we're not as in control as we like to think, especially when it comes to the collective and things like that. So it's really important that we're surrendering to the universe right now. A lot of people are going to be really disappointed that their plans aren't working out, but I want to remind people we're setting aside what we want this life for the good of the collective, and kind of in a major way. That doesn't mean we are a martyr. Yes, we've been putting that victim programming, right? They want us to think that, I'll go kill myself for the collective, the martyr, the victim, types like that. We need to get past that kind of archetype this life. You are powerful. They wanted you to believe you're nothing, right? That you are the victim and everything bad happened to you, things like that. So we would create on those templates, but we're figuring out that we are literally powerful. I've been seeing a lot of, like I said, negative posts like the Wi-Fi is going down next and this is going to happen, and I don't want that in my reality. So I've been making it clear, right? We can literally create what we want. I am on a different timeline than you guys. You are literally in your own universe. You are the creator of it. And anything that you want to create, you can. If we focus on something bad enough, we can get it. Trust me, whether good or bad, right? So sometimes we're focused on things we don't want and we tend to create them. So I think that's why a lot of this is happening right now with the news and all this negativity everywhere, because people aren't really at a level of consciousness to yet grasp that. And as the frequencies are going up, it's getting easier and easier for us to create and draw things to us. So if there's negativity everywhere, we could really kind of create more of that. So it's really important that you're staying focused on what you're creating, but also surrender to the universe as part of the process. All right, inner power, the Divine Father. Divine Father, thank you for co-creating my world with me. All right, really work on that masculine energy within. I think that we've, a lot of the feminine has been too in the masculine, and that is a protection, that is to protect us, right? If we, especially like if we, think something is scary, a lot of the feminine go into that masculine energy, and that can create imbalances. I know, right? I'm learning how to balance my energies as well, and I'm still going through this process as well. Do more things that are feminine, give yourself more mom vibes, right? Things like that can all really help you step into this feminine energy once again, right? We've been a little too programmed into the masculine. And, that goes for the men too. They're having to come back to this feminine energy, this intuition, and step away from logic. And that can be, something different that we're learning how to navigate, because we're so used to using our logic and rational minds, right? And things like that. And now we had to get back to this space of intuition. All right, Kim Fesco. Oh, I love it. Good morning. I know. I'm like, hi. I want to have coffee. I hate it when I can't do videos because it's kind of part of my flow. Like, I swear. So I've literally been watching. I got a bunch of things to watch. Like, I've been watching things. Right. I've been off grid. Like, I was literally in my pajamas yesterday. Someone's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I'm great, but I would prefer to be, giving energy reports and kind of helping with the collective, especially since this will be a powerful month energetically. So I will try to get on here more. It's not really the same. I'll try to get on more and say hi. You guys know if you do need me though that I am here working the next 2 weeks through my site, and you guys can always find me if you really do need something. All right, Kim. Healthy choices. This is why we are here today. All right, like I said, the apple cider vinegar didn't work so good on these viruses, right? So I've been through this, I swear, because I also had pneumonia and almost died a year ago, and that was not from coronavirus. It was from the energies, right? It was from the energies, I swear. So we can go through so much that it can be a lot on our body, right? I did stock up on turmeric and ginger, some really good things. I got vitamin C for the kids, and we're taking high levels of vitamin C, and it's really helping. Swear. So if you guys have kids, you might want to get some vitamins for your kids. I swear, right? They should be getting vitamin C. These kids won't take vitamins. I know you guys probably have picky kids too. Give them orange juice. Just we've been trying to have a lot of orange juice in the house. So things like orange juice, I swear, eating oranges, vitamin C, the best thing for us right now. Also zinc. A lot of us are, we'll say, transitioning with the foods we're being guided to eat, right? Some of us are trying to eat lighter, more veggies, things like that. If you guys, even if you are eating meat, but if you're not especially, make sure you're getting more zinc. I think that's the antidote to every virus on the planet, right? And the sicknesses too, that we could boost our immune system and we wouldn't have to be kind of going through this. So it's time to make healthier choices, I swear. Just really take care of your body right now. Thank you, angels, for guiding me to make healthier decisions. All right, the cosmic heart. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. All right, so I'm kind of a busy person too lately. We're kind of busy here. This is about incorporating spirituality into your daily life. Like literally, like yesterday I'm doing like just making water, like filtered water, and I'm thinking, oh, this is good. Let's put, because I have it in the windowsill, like it's in the sun or the moon, and I guess technically I'm making sun and moon water for healing, right? And things like that. Maybe I'm just, running a bath. I'm putting my magic in it. We literally are putting energy wherever we're focusing and our intention, and that's powerful, literally. So we can literally put our focus on someone and heal them. Literally, we're all deeply connected too. It doesn't matter how much they separate and quarantine us. You guys are able to feel what I'm feeling across the planet. So we're deeply connected for sure. We're going to kind of come back to this oneness. Keep working on your heart chakra. Get healthy. More detoxing, right? And then I've been detoxing for years, right? Off and on. People are like, they talk about how I use chlorella, and I think that is the best thing for removing metals. We can talk different things for different stuff, right? But I think we all had a lot of metal exposure. Your kids are eating aluminum in their cereal. Let me see, we have Roundup on our food in a lot of places. We're eating GMO food-like products. A lot of us have had health care, whether you were vaccinated when you were a child or just had medications, maybe surgeries. People have had all different kind of backgrounds. But, we don't realize that. The toxins stay in our body. And what's happening is toxic overload on every level, aside from what's going on right now. Toxic overload where our bodies can't take it anymore, and it can manifest into actual, like, real sicknesses, things like that. We're seeing an increase in cancer too, and that's because people are becoming more and more acidic as well, right? We know that if we alkalize the body, that it will heal us and treat these things as well. So a lot of this is coming down to things we're being exposed to. We have aluminum in the air and the soils. Our food's being grown in that, things like that. We can see this planet was becoming really toxic, and we couldn't really go on like this. So it is important that we're detoxing the chlorella. It's an LJ. I think that it goes back to Atlantis as well, and that we would use these things there as well. And that it will pull out, like they say, 80% of the metals in like 3 months. This is something that I'm taking all the time. I don't feel really, I always feel better when I'm on it, but until this planet really cleans itself up, it's kind of a toxic place. We're breathing in stuff that we're not even sure about. We have all these talks kind of going around. So I do really think that will help people. I have a lot of people that I work with healing, where it's also an anti-cancer agent. So we can see, like I said, an increase in cancer. I've had people where it probably prevented them from having, when they had like a tumor, it could have turned into cancerous and it wasn't. So, these things can assist us in not getting sick in the future, right? We can take the chlorella, and then I know I probably am never getting cancer or things like that. So really powerful, the detoxing that we can do in this space. All right. Lovely angel. Good morning. You're going to love and accept yourself. Thank you, angels, for lovingly guiding me to self acceptance. We all went through crazy experiences so that we could learn literally love and forgiveness. We're in a school for creators, right? We're supposed to be learning how to be divine beings in whatever regard. Sometimes we lose aspects of ourselves, though, because of how we process our experiences and memories, right? And things like that. Make sure you're calling back any past experiences that were awful for you. If you had traumas, send love to that version of yourself then. Visualize who you were, right? Call that aspect back into yourself. This is about more self-love. I started out my own journey really high, and like I had all these dreams and excitement in doing this mission and all of these things, and it really broke me next level, some of the experiences I went through with it. And so for me, I had to go on my own journey, literally kind of back to love. So it's really important that we are supporting ourselves. I found that I wasn't getting maybe some of that external support, and I needed to be very supportive of myself internally. Make sure you're being very supportive of yourself, anything that you're going through, right? We tend to right, to have negative self-talk and, be critical of ourselves. Make sure you're being fully supportive of yourselves. When the universe sees us, it doesn't see the things that we see, right? I know, right? Even when we were to look in the mirror or think back about our life, the universe doesn't see us like that. When we understand consciousness, we're so integrate. We're such, a collection of every experience that we ever had, and we still won't even get to the bottom of who we are this life. This is something we continue to go through, just trying to know ourselves on deep levels. So the creator or the universe does not see us the same way we see ourselves. We see ourselves as flawed, and maybe this needs to be fixed or healed, but you're always perfect as is. So it's important that you're seeing that too. All right, time to water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. And like I said, a lot of people are being forced to stop right now. They're not being honest with how long these quarantines will last. I can see why. We've seen in the past with things like natural disasters where people could begin to have like civil unrest where they begin to loot and break into places, and there's crime and things like that and negative things that come out of it. So from the government's perspective, it's really important that everyone is feeling okay with these quarantines and where they're at. So, we kind of had to see the bigger picture with why we're only getting, certain flows of information from the media or things like that. So we kind of have a lot going on, but it is meant so that we stop right now, so that we work on our energy, literally. All right. Jacal. Oh, I love it. I love it. And we are going through a purge. This is probably one, and that aligns with some of these conspiracy theories, because we're going through the biggest purge that we've been through this ascension from now until, I guess I say May. I did see someone say June, right? June. Well, that's when the eclipses come. I think we're going to go through this big purge, and it might be from the moon too. Let's talk how powerful the moon is and the sun lately, right? With this ascension, because they're going through their own spiritual evolution, and let's just say they're getting stronger energetically too, these celestial bodies. And so we're kind of going through this process, and it's kind of a lot, but it's going to have people kind of stopping right now and reassessing things. It's going to lead somewhere good. All right, so we have all these conspiracy theories. For sure, we're going through a purge, right? And sometimes we need these events to purge the fear out too. A lot of people have been purging a lot of fear out as they're watching the news and thinking they're gonna die, and oh my god. And don't worry, we might be experiencing an ego death kind of on large levels, but you know that this is more of a transformation, less of a death, right? So a lot of fears kind of coming up, but this is a really big purge, and I always was telling you guys that it's gonna lead us somewhere really good. My birthday is the first week of May, and it's no different. Just because they came out with coronavirus label doesn't make anything different from the ascension perspective, right? So a lot of people in the third dimension are like freaked out and thinking they're going to die, but that might be a lesson they need to wake up furtherly, or to heal, or to get in gear, right? Or things like that. And we kind of need to see that. So, from the higher perspective, not a lot is changing, and things like that, but it is a big transformation, and for sure there is a purge going on behind the scenes. And, like me, I don't have a lot of faith in some of these systems. Sorry, I had a kind of a crazy journey, right? I don't have a lot of faith in some of these systems, and that is okay, I always say, because the energy is going to do it for us, that the energy is cleansing the planet. And so while, we might be going through some of these ascension upgrades, and we're downloading codes being sent to us, right? We're downloading these, let's say, photons of, light codes and things that we're taking into our body. This could be from the energy and what is happening as some people are trying to go through this. I think that this year will be really interesting to watch so that we can kind of see, is this an effect of the ascension and these energies? It doesn't matter, even if people say no. This is all an effect of the awakening that is unfolding. Everything in the collective that we're experiencing kind of goes hand in hand with this massive expansion in consciousness. I believe people are going to suddenly not care about money in the same regard. And the people that are going to have the hardest time are going to be the elite, the rich, the people that have been paying themselves, right, $500,000 a year to be CEO of these companies, while all of these people are, working beneath them, suffering for $8 an hour and things like that. So a lot of people are going to have a very hard time as we're going through these, we'll say, system changes with the material. The material is most being affected right now. Some of the things that you guys are used to getting, you're seeing some of your stores are more empty. I bet in America especially, because they rely on that kind of import. So we're seeing it is having a big impact. This is going to lead us somewhere good. It is a purification that's happening. All right, time to get creative. Thank your angels for helping you to express your inner creativity. This is you, right? I love it. All right. Big picture thinking, Pleiadian energy, visionary, inspired ideas. And I know we like to think, well, we know everything that's going to happen. I was thinking this morning, because a lot of people have a biblical perspective. How long does the Bible go back, though? I guess it's from Genesis, but most of it is more current, this cycle kind of stuff, right? Things like that. So I don't know that we really have that kind of understanding of where this could lead us, because I don't believe that there's ever been an attempt to do a planetary ascension like this. And what I think is happening is that we're space traveling. Yeah, the whole planet. That we're traveling through space, and that we're going through some dense areas that are, this space energy can be dangerous, and usually we're more protected. But because of the state of the planet, pollution and things like that, we're not as protected. So for the first time, we're kind of being exposed to more of these energies. I think it's interesting that some of these hot spot areas are having more issues and kind of influxes, and I think it's interesting they even call them hot spots for it, right? That's more of a Wi-Fi term, but whatever, right? Hot spot. Well, they're hot spots for this, and I'd love to know why, because I'm real into the ley lines in some of these areas, and maybe these places aren't getting enough energy. We're not really sure, right? So I think it'll be interesting to watch how things play out. I don't think that you can, avoid things like getting sick. If you're meant to get sick, you'll probably get sick. I don't think that you can avoid things like if it's your time to go, things like that, by staying inside and kind of hiding from it. We'll see how it kind of plays out, though, but we definitely have big things happening. And I hope it's going to shift a lot of people back to caring about their health and, money less of a priority. People are going to shift back to nature for sure, where suddenly all I want to do is get outside. All I want to do is be outside. So people are going to probably make more of a shift back to nature, things like that. We can see the planet is healing, though, and that perhaps, a lot of people say we are the virus, right? And what's happening on this planet. So while we are inside, I believe there is a healing that is taking place with less production. All right, Alex Johnson, good morning. Hooray, longing for home, homesick for the stars. Who wants to leave planet Earth already? Raise your hands. Right? Everyone will be like, yes, please. All right, good. Signs that you're an old soul. Signs that you're an old soul, right? I know that we're longing for home, and that a lot of us haven't quite found it here yet, and that is okay. We were never meant to fit into this world. We say we're going to create something new now. So just kind of hang in there. Unconditional love. The Divine Mother. Thank you, Divine Mother, for helping me to give and receive the love that I deserve. And that's what we're stepping into, this role, this life that is needed, the Divine Feminine, which has been suppressed literally, even within both sexes, just shoved within, right? If you had like you just thought something was so, or just had a knowing about something, well, how do you know that, right? How do you know that? I need proof, things like that, or from the old, right? And for the first time, we're seeing a rising of the feminine, where people are, needing to stop listening to what they're being told, and they're needing to go within. For sure, just really work on, we always say, reparenting yourself, right? Being the divine feminine to yourself. Those mother vibes that you didn't really have all the way as a child, make sure you're giving them to yourself just by being nicer to yourself, I swear, right? Just take better care of yourself, more self-care, things you like to do. All right. Zaz, good morning. The Sea of Montaka, seeing potential, bringing the unconscious to light. And that's what we're going through now. As we're kind of going through this transformation, everything is going to come to the light. And we're seeing that. We've been talking about some of these conspiracy theories for years, and it appears they're just surfacing and coming into the light. And we're going to continue to see the shadow of humanity surfacing and kind of coming out without. People don't like that. They're like, well, you know, I want to do enlightenment, but I think it's more like yoga and meditation. Enlightenment is going within, right? Facing the darkest parts of yourself. And we've done that so many times in this reality, right? Facing your shadow, doing deep work, right? Integrating that, healing these things, seeing your own issues up close and personal. And that's a lot of hard work, literally, more shadow work. What is the shadow? Things we have left to heal, issues we have, things that have been blocking our relationships, sabotaging us in a lot of ways, kind of going in deep to transmute these things. All right, Sonia, good morning. A new earth, this is where we are headed. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. So it's important that we are staying focused on what we want. Like I said, there's a lot of negative stuff going on social media. That's why I've been really unplugged too. I don't want to scroll and sit looking at all this stuff all day. I don't want to really take it into my reality or consciousness. It's one of the reasons I don't really watch, we'll say, a lot of videos and things like that. I'd rather keep that kind of stuff out of my consciousness. So I do see a lot of negativity. Make sure that you guys are picking and choosing what you want to see in your reality, right? Your subconscious is always going to create things that you're telling it to. So for sure, stay positive with the things you're thinking about. All right, synchronicity. Thank you, angels. I trust your guidance and signs. A lot of you guys have been seeing an increase in things like synchronicity, right? Number codes. Maybe just a message you resonate with. It could just be a video you really like. A lot of people will catch this on replay, and all these messages are for you. Literally, anything you resonate with, it is for you. You're always where you should be. So we're being taught and guided all day long, literally. Sometimes we're noticing, sometimes we're not noticing. Pay attention to any number codes that you're seeing. These are your angels' way of communicating. They can't just materialize into our life in that way. So sometimes they send us messages in the forms of, people maybe saying something to us, giving us advice, or it could just be number codes. Make sure that you're looking up the meaning to these things if you see messages. Some of you guys are getting messages in your dreams. And if you remember your dream at all, that is a message, right? We're learning how to navigate the subconscious, which can be a little bit more difficult. And we need to do that to navigate reality, since the subconscious literally projects our entire reality. And we only have one subconscious. Yes, me and you share a mind. Yes, all of consciousness. And people are like, what? You're so different than me. Well, if you had my life and my experiences, you would be like this too, right? Swear. So we need to kind of get back to that understanding of oneness. Pay attention to the messages that you are getting. All right, Susan Kalau, good morning. All paths lead home. I wanted to really go find one of these labyrinth things. I know they have them on this side of the planet too. I really wanted to go to one bad, so it's kind of a synchronicity for me. All right, all paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. And, there's a lot of judgments from maybe you've been judged in the past, whether it was your family or friends, or you should be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing this, and maybe you should do this. But your path is, very individual to you and your needs. Right? So we kind of have these lessons that we need to master to get where we need to be. You're always right where you should be, right? Sometimes we feel like we messed up or made mistakes in our past. No, swear. All paths would have led you to this place. So your soul is leading you home. All right. Peaceful warrior, Archangel Ariel. Thank you, Ariel, for helping me stand my ground with peace. We're in Aries season. Part of the reason the world's burning down, right? Literally, we're in Aries season too, so it can feel like we're going through kind of a dismantling and crumbling. So, really just kind of trust the path. Trust your path right now. Trust the reasons you're here. So there is a crumbling occurring. That is to create something new for all of humanity. A lot of people are kind of getting hung up on the old. I think that it wasn't working or serving us anyway, and that we need to kind of take a step back and focus on kind of what's going on individually. All right, JB, we're going to ignore the mail. JB, lifting the veil, questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. Literally. So the veil is peeling back. Maybe we're just seeing more of what's actually always been here, right? Maybe things aren't falling apart. Maybe we're just seeing more of kind of what's around us during this time. Keep working on your third eye too, right? If we're blindly listening and following like the news and things like that, we're going to be led astray during this time. So it's really important that we have, activated our third eyes so that we can really see what's going on. Hold on. Hi, can you just leave it there? Thank you. All right. All right, trustworthy friends. Yes, this is what we need, right? Like I said, they would love to have us in our own little bubble, right? Quarantined from the rest of the planet right now. But it's important that we're drawing friends that are kind of on the same vibrational frequency. It's a lot of the reason I do like Facebook groups and things like that. All right. Thank you, angels, for surrounding me with people I can trust and love. And connection is the real antiviral. We've seen studies relating to people who do drugs and the lack of connection and things like that, and the reason why people turn to things like this. So I believe that through connecting, that we can literally elevate so much faster. It will actually protect you from spiritual attacks and things like that, I swear, right? It will actually keep you safer. They want us isolated and things like that. So it will actually keep you safer and more protected to be kind of, we'll say, coming together with souls that you vibe with. It's easy to do that. Post things you're into, right? Some people won't like it, but some people will. That's how you can find the people that resonate with you for sure. So put out vibes for your soul tribe to find you. They will. Denise Ray, you are protected through this. Archangel Michael, thank you, Michael, for surrounding me with your protective light. We are protected, right? We are protected during this. I really love to work with different energies. I can see fairies flying around me now. So I like to work with different energies. I am very into working with my own angels as well as other angels. Archangel Michael is amazing for things like cutting cords, protecting you if you feel attacked, right? If you maybe are just having a bad day, things like that. These are beings that we can call on and ask for assistance, right? Especially energetic assistance. The blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. And I always talk about this because, it's no different than the other messages I've been giving everyone. How would you guys feel if the material just suddenly was gone? Just gone. Well, that's where we're headed. And so I know a lot of people have their worth based on their job or their house or the things that they have bought and their lifestyle that they're maintaining, but this is all going to fade away. We're going to be left with just ourselves at the end of this, right? And that's a scary kind of concept, and I've been kind of, going through these kind of layers myself, but it's where we're headed. That's why it's really important that we're working on ourselves, that we're filling ourselves with good things, right? Good foods. And people tell me, well, I can't afford to eat, right? Organic food. I can't afford vitamins. You really could. We have to reprioritize what is important to us during this time. So make sure that you guys are eating better food, more vitamins, taking better care of yourself. It's going to be so important in going through this. And people have their priorities all screwed up. Everyone's just focused on the material and paying their bills. And you know what happens when you die? None of that matters. Your whole life, the things you loved, go in the trash can. Right? The things that you were working 50 years to pay off, they are no more. And we don't really understand that here. And people are just really focused on the material. And that's all going to kind of go out the window. And if we aren't, we'll say, anchored into the spiritual, that could be really bad as these timelines are kind of, we'll say, splitting and kind of doing crazy things around here. So it's really important that we have our focus on the spiritual during this time. All right. Let's see. Jennifer Dawes. Love it. Live your joy. Thank you, angels, for supporting me as I follow my joy. That's magnetic, right? We tend to get all weighed down around here, especially when we're like going about our life and our routine. Find your bliss. Find your passion. For me, it's this clearly, right? I consider a big part of my mission, the work that I do, doing Facebook Lives and things like that. Find your purpose. It will help light yourself up, right? And help light up the people around you. All right, this is not a bad thing happening to us. Yes, it could take us to rock bottom, but surrender, literally, this is happening for us. This is meant to be, something that is going to take us out of a paradigm that was really not serving anyone, right? It wasn't really serving humanity or us on any level, and it's going to take us out of those ways of being where I talk about what about if that we lived in a world where we didn't need government or money, and people are like, what, that won't happen, you need it for these reasons. But we're talking about elevating our frequency and going back to living as, you know, highly evolved spiritual beings. And I really feel that's where we're headed, where it's going to become more of a lot of people are going to transition out of those ways of being into more of a fifth dimensional type of life, right? More of a, like I have, right? So, you know, I really did have a normal job and things like that, and I've transitioned into, you know, being a light worker, doing a different type of work, you know, maybe living a more simple, different type of life. And it is going to require us all to really simplify things fast, but that's already happened, where suddenly a lot of people are very just concerned about like getting basic things, right? And basic foods and things like that. So it is forcing everyone to really simplify with their lives and their lifestyles right now, but that is needed to put us into this new kind of fifth dimensional paradigm for sure. All right. Now, Susan, I think you're in the UK, but I always forget. Some of these places are higher frequency too. So I know for me, because you guys know I live in England now, but for me it was a huge adjustment moving over here because I'm used to different energies and different frequencies. So like I said, it was a lot of my body, and these are really where a lot of the energy from the planet is kind of pouring in. So for sure, I think the whole planet is going to get very energy sensitive if they're not already. Right? For sure, a lot of people are not aware of what type of energy or frequency they're emitting. We have a lot of kind of fear going around, and that's not great for the collective, but this is a lot of upgrades right now. So we have a lot happening with the solar plexus. Maybe have some teas, right? Lay around. I like ginger and turmeric for kind of stomach issues, things like that. But this will pass. We kind of had to just go through this process. All right, let's see. I know it's hard with the comments on here. I'm reading the comments. I swear, it's a big process on us. Like I said, it can be a lot, I swear. On our bodies, this is a physical process. A lot of people are, like I see crying, releasing a lot. That is okay. Surrender is deep. It's one of the most powerful things you can do going through this process, where surrender, pray. Praying is so powerful too. It's one of my favorite things, if you know me, right? Pray as well. If you're having issues, pray. Make sure you're making, you know, it clear with the universe what exactly you need to, you know, continue on with your path. If there are things that you're lacking or need, I always say, whether material, financially, anything, or, you know, things that you're trying to manifest, pray, make it clear to the universe for sure. Charlie Simmons, aw, sending you a ton of good vibes. I was thinking of you the other day. You guys probably wouldn't know this, but I miss you guys all the time, right? You guys probably wouldn't know this. Right. So that's how I know that you guys have so much assistance too as you're going through this. And sometimes we can't tell that, right? This assistance is in the unseen, a lot of it. You guys have angels, ascended masters, you have your family, ancestors. All eyes are on us during this time. No pressure, right? No pressure, but you have so much assistance, and sometimes we don't know that. And that's why all I am is a messenger, someone who can bring messages through and things like that. But you are being supported, you're being guided, you're being loved right now. And this is a big release. And I know you guys are all energetically and psychically very sensitive. So I know that you're feeling kind of a lot of the things, whether it's scrolling on Facebook, you know, seeing the news everywhere, going to the grocery store and having people panicked that you're going to give them the virus and things like that. Or, you know, a lot of you guys are parenting and maybe having a hard time just kind of going through your routine or life like normal, without trying to scare the kids around you and things like that. So I know this is a big transition. I promise you it's meant to bring us somewhere good. But when I see these ascension timetables, we have a lot of work ahead of us. I know, right? We do have a lot of work ahead of us. So you guys know that this wasn't an easy ride that you guys had this life. But we do have a lot ahead of us. But as we're going up in frequency, it's meant to get easier, right? I know the energies aren't feeling easy all the time. It's meant to get easier. You're meant to be drawing positive experiences to you, good people, better experiences. All right, Charlie. Peace and harmony. Archangel Rajal, thank you for surrounding my life in a harmonious light. All right, make sure you guys are healing yourselves. I know you should see me laying with like the crystals on me. I was making a joke about like, I saw a meme once with a girl just covered in crystals laying there like dead from ascension. Jokes, right? But make sure you guys are using crystals literally, even if you're just like holding them, laying around with them, putting them on your chakras if you need them. Make sure you're using things like crystals. It will really help you with your energy, and we need to take good care of our energy. Forget the rest of the planet. I would say, I don't know, like 90% of the planet at least is probably asleep in a state of a low vibration, a lot of fear, trusting the mainstream media, which is telling them they're all going to die and probably have no electricity tomorrow, right? And things like that. So we kind of have a lot happening in one place, but there is another group of souls here that are star seeds and light workers. And you guys should have a good idea if that is you, because you're probably drawn to the spiritual, or you're watching videos like this, or you're being guided to this kind of information, which not everyone has access to. If you are a light worker, take good care of your energy. Literally, your vibration is having such an impact on the collective. We should not let the collective pull down our frequency. We need to really put it up right now. All right, you're not for everyone. Embrace the fact that you're weird. We're not for everyone. Me too, I know, right? So you're kind of weird. It's okay. Like I said, we're not meant to be fitting in. We're in a higher frequency that can trigger people, that can irritate people. I upset people a lot with just some of the things I say on video. A lot of people aren't ready for this type of information, let alone making big changes in their life, as we're seeing from people being sick in the collective. So this isn't for everyone, but like I said, you're going to find people that do resonate with the things that you're into, and these people probably are light workers, and they're also probably from your soul group. I believe that we incarnated here together, the star seeds, and that we came from different consciousness groups. And we came from different, levels of learning, that a lot of the star seeds are either from a 4th to 6th dimensional level of learning, and that we all kind of would have come here. And, we've been led to believe that we were alone a lot of our life, but we're not doing this work alone. Just the work I'm doing today comes together with the whole. And so, sometimes we're just going about our life and our path, and we don't realize how big of an impact we really are having on the collective. So for sure, just stay high vibe through this. All right, you guys should be getting good signs, swear. I know we're inside a lot, but you should be, like I said, synchronicities, magic, a feeling that everything will be okay, right? And things like that. So you guys should be feeling good things too at the same time. Mallory McFarlane, good morning. Okay. I'm sorry. Defensive list. Righting past wrongs and uprooting. All right. We all had things that didn't go good. I know, right? We all have things that didn't go good. We were living asleep and unconsciously. So why are we still hanging on to those things since we didn't know any better? When you're asleep and you're kind of unconscious, you're not really yourself. Let go of anything from the past. This isn't something you're going to do with other people. You do it with yourself. Complete forgiveness. I see this with a lot of people that went through a lot of, we'll say, childhood trauma and things like that. Then there is this disconnect and seeing the oneness in our experiences, right? So a lot of people tend to go into like, victim mode, and this happened to me, and why did this happen to me? Not seeing that, it really is one side of the same coin. Forgive anyone you ever learned with. You don't call them up. We do that with ourselves. Like I always do a really good karma cleanse. You guys can do it with me now, that I forgive myself and everyone that I learned with. I had a lot of experience that did not go good. It's okay, right? Some of those lessons that were awful for me, I took the most out of. Literally. So there are people that have volunteered to play roles in our life that might not have been so good. And that was to push us into our power, to make us remember. And the feminine has really been through it, this cycle especially. I swear, we have different paths, right? And so there's been a lot of like kind of weighing down the feminine, a lot of relationships that weren't good. A lot of people are still kind of playing these things out. Relationships not good, maybe ones that were making people's energy bad or taking their power. Let go of this stuff now. That was to remind you of your power as the feminine, and it's to help you rise. So if we ever had like bad relationships, things that didn't go good in the past, it is to help you liberate now. All right, time to work on your throat chakra. That's hard, right? All right, time to work on your throat chakra. Archangel Gabriel, and I love this archangel the best because some of them are girls, whether people realize that or not. Some of them are girls and they have more masculine names. Okay, thank you, Gabrielle, for helping me to speak with integrity. If I was to stay hidden, as we're so used to doing, right, I could easily, like, just when I'm in the matrix, I stay really hidden. It sounds weird, right? I stay really hidden as opposed to when I'm on my video, right? And that's okay, but how can people find us again, right? We need to find our soul tribe. Speak your truth. It's going to be needed. You guys each have your own universe, and you're going to be responsible for bringing this same information to the people in your world, ultimately, the people around you, right? Because some of you guys have families or relationships or people around you that you care about. And so I think it is important that we're trying to protect the people around us. I feel there's a lot kind of going on, and that things like detoxing and healing can help protect us as we're attempting to go through kind of a chaotic transformation. So for sure, really just focus on your healing. Barbie Ann, good morning. Time to trust your vibes. Thank you, angels. Today I choose to trust my intuition and your guidance. Trust the vibes that you're getting, I swear, right? Just really trust it. Also, second guess the information that you're getting. If it's sounding negative, like about another person, this might not be, you know, good information. Make sure that it resonates as something positive for you too, though, when you're kind of, we're downloading a lot of information. We're like receivers and we're kind of picking up a lot. Make sure that it is, you know, positive based, but trust your intuition. All right, breathe in the cosmos. My will to thy will. Micromanaging the universe. The universe is so powerful. We have seen so many great civilizations fall in the blink of an eye that turned away from the spiritual. Why is this no different? Right? Why is this no different? So we're going through something we've kind of experienced in the past. I think that we took a lot of lessons out of living in collective places like Atlantis, that while we need to stay positive, we can't necessarily ignore the negative, as it could, you know, really impact everyone as well. Try to stay really positive going through this transition, though, I swear. Okay, Christy Soul, good morning. Earth Angel. Thank you, angels, for inspiring me to be more like you. And we are turning into an angelic human, right? We're talking about going from the third dimensional body, which is 2 strands of DNA, to at least a 12 minimum kind of system, as well as going from a, usually in the third dimension, mostly blocked 7 chakra system to a, you know, completely open 12 channels or 12 chakra system. So we're going through a huge transformation. Really just take care of your physical body right now. You have an amazing star family. All right. You're part of a team of souls. Call in support. I see a lot of the same patterns that unfold with this awakening, where sometimes, you know, your family may not have seen the things that you're seeing. And a lot of people, when they wake up, tend to kind of, we'll say, vibrationally vibrate away from their actual earth families. Like literally, right? Sometimes you guys just vibrate out of complete resonance with these people, but you're vibrating more and more into a focus with your soul group, with your consciousness group. So like I said, you came here with a whole group of souls, right? That are probably on a similar mission to you, or probably could really understand your journey more than some people around you that might be asleep and things like that. And you guys are coming back into focus with these souls and these people. Haley, good morning. Porthole, this is you making quantum leaps that we don't really know about. And we landed on a weird timeline, but it's temporary. It's okay. All right, doors are opening. You decide. Rewards. Wild card. I like my timeline better than the third dimensional news timelines, where they're telling you you're going to die and you're going to have no power and no food. And, you know, it's all like apocalyptic and, oh, it's end times and, you know, those kind of things. It doesn't really resonate with me at this point with where I am in my journey. And I'm understanding that as someone who does videos, I need to be careful with my words, because I am influencing reality too, right? But for me, I like the different perspective where I'm noticing it could be from these energies making people sick, and people just really need to detox and heal during this time to be able to kind of make these shifts. So make sure that you're choosing your perspective, right? And that make sure it's in alignment with where you're headed, right? I don't want to go. I think America especially creates these kind of Armageddon timelines because it's easy, right? It's easy to picture everything awful and crumbled in and things like that, but it takes a little bit more work to create, you know, a new reality where everything's amazing. It's all kind of about our perspective too. New beginning. Thank you, angels, for opening up the doors to change. I am ready. I made a joke this morning. I said I prayed and left it in the hands of the gods, and the gods sent us coronavirus. That's so true, though, right? Well, I've been praying and leaving things in the hands of the gods, and the gods sent coronavirus, I guess. So I know this isn't a great thing, but it's meant to lead us somewhere good, and I know it's a time of change, but it was probably that push that maybe the planet needed as well. All right. Oh, and then I'll try to do a fun post. I would love to know what you guys can't live without. So imagine that we are quarantined for longer than we think. Are there things that you can't live without, or you like? Are there things that you need? Because I saw someone doing a post like this. I would love just for fun to know, like, top 3 things that you guys would like need or would die without, right, or whatever. And so I'll try to put up a fun post and we can do something fun like that too, because it's important that we are lifting our vibrational frequencies. Swear. And there's been kind of a lot weighing us down. All right, Marie Lynn Hathors. Hang on. All right. Deep love, mother's milk, birth is a porthole. And we're going through a porthole now that literally, I don't know if we could really picture the power of Gaia, of this planet, as a goddess, and the transformation that the earth is going through now as well. So we're going through this transformation. Like I said, it's going to lead us to a new earth, and people are like, what? The earth was dying 5 minutes ago. So were all of us. And we know that we have this amazing ability to heal ourselves, and so does the earth as well. So we are going through, like I said, a big transition. A lot of people are referring it to a rebirth. All right, time to work on your heart chakra more. Open your heart. Archangel Chamel. Thank you, Chamel, for removing the barriers around my heart. Keep working on your heart chakra. Like I said, this is a huge expansion. I think a lot of people that have, we'll say, closed heart chakras might have a hard time going through these portholes. I believe that's the chakra we're processing most of this energy through too, right? Right? And so we go, so people might have a really hard time if they have not, you know, opened their heart chakra. That's why it's really important that we're making choices based on love, literally. Our mind has the ability to mislead us. Sometimes we don't see things as they are, right? Sometimes we just get little pieces of information and we're having a hard time with the ego trying to string it together. Follow your heart. It will never lead you wrong. Oh, I love it. Mallory McFarland. Wait, it's not time yet. Things are being woven. And that's how I look at quarantines, because I would always joke around, but I've told you I've been in galactic quarantines many times. I'm in one now. And sometimes those are to protect our energy as well. So we can look at the word quarantine as kind of a galactic term too, right? Since when are we in a quarantine? So sometimes we're going through an energetic transformation, and it is needed so that we're spending more time with ourselves, going within, but also it can indicate that our destination is not yet ready, that it's time for us to be moved, but things were kind of a little early, right? And things like that. So just kind of enjoy this space. Mallory. Spiritual abundance. Thank you, angels, for blessing me with infinite abundance. And a lot of you guys are more blessed than you ever realized, especially if you're sitting at home and you have food to eat and you have electricity and water, then you are literally blessed beyond measure, right? Seriously. So sometimes we don't realize how good that we have it compared to a lot of, you know, people in other countries or places on the planet too. Aw. Let's see, Karen Smith. All right. Losing the grip. Coping mechanism, density, addiction, let God in. Oh my God, I love this card because it's a lot of what's going on with the collective as well. Surrender. This is about finding God. I like the word source because God is such a limiting masculine kind of term, right? One that has a lot of kind of religions behind it and things like that. And I think of God as a consciousness energy, as a kind of source energy. It doesn't matter what you want to call it, right? We all kind of have our own beliefs and things like that, but it's really important that you're finding God, getting spiritual. All right. Leap of faith. I'm ready to take a leap, angels. Thank you for doing it with me. And like I said, we're never alone, but we need to ask our angels for more help or they won't interfere. Something I'm always doing. Right? Hi, it's Ra. Right? Hi. And by the way, make sure that you're talking to your angels, literally. Like I said, we need to learn how to incorporate this stuff into our daily life. I'm huge on making manifesting lists if we need things, or, using writing and journaling to kind of connect to the other realm. All right, Debbie Potter. You have a loved one in heaven coming through. You probably know better than me who this is. Thank you, loved ones in heaven, for drawing close at this time. And I think it's a good time to talk about death, one of my favorite topics. Right? I've had my own kind of crazy experience, and I have even crazier theories that I'm not ready to really talk about on video, because people might not really understand this. But I like to think that if you've had a spiritual awakening, that you've already gone through a death of the physical to end up in these realms and dimensions, right? I always say that. I always just try to throw it out there. Some of you guys might even be able to pinpoint these moments with near-death experiences or traumas or things that even happened in the physical, right? For sure. We never die. That's what this is teaching us. Literally, you have incarnated so many times and you just change form and, things like that every time. And so people are looking at this as a really third dimensional perspective. There are going to be a lot of souls that will transition and will play a different role in this ascension, whether assisting us from the other realm or choosing to incarnate again to a different third dimensional experience. And so, we go on this fabulous journey when we go into the afterlife and we die a physical death that is very similar to this spiritual awakening or this ascension that is occurring too, because we're talking about having a spiritual awakening that will put us out of the third dimension. So we can look at Earth School as the third dimension, and you have this spiritual awakening and you begin to transcend all of that and literally ascend into higher dimensions, the fourth and the fifth. And that's the process that we're going through, for sure. So you are being guided, whether it's someone you lost this life or just ancestors. All right. The Seven Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life and Expression. And we don't realize how our journey is really just continuing on our parents' journey and their parents and our ancestors. And we're continuing this journey. But I don't think that anyone was ready to heal the issues that have been going on in these bloodlines until we came here. And sometimes that looks a little messy if you look back at our experiences in life, and that can bring out things that were there, whether it's like addiction or, bad habits, bad programming. Maybe people's parents have relationship issues and then they have problems with relationships when they're older, or, some of these things that have just been kind of carrying on. Things like abuse of all different types, things like that have been surfacing with us so that we can, move through these things and release them for our family lines. So we've kind of had a really hard path, but you have never had the support like you have this life either, because we are taking this healing journey. We have so much help from the other realms, from our ancestors, right? They also feel that they're responsible for some of the negative experiences that we've had, because like I said, we're continuing their journey and we're also taking on their karmic experiences too. So we have so much help. You have so much power behind you, literally. I'm also getting into, I guess you could say it's ancestral type of magic here. It sounds really weird, right? But it kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of the things that I'm learning living in the UK. And I've already been working with ley line energies and things like that. But I've been doing a lot more work with my own ancestors and things like that here. And it's been really powerful for me with my healing and my path and things like that. A lot of you guys, in fact, have amazing abilities that are just beginning to surface as well, where a lot of you guys are psychics, you're mediums. I believe every person has these abilities. And, there's something that we're just turning on now for the first time ever, because we have to have a certain level of spiritual maturity to be able to do this stuff. What happens if suddenly, like this happened to me, where I have come into these amazing abilities and then, I had something really rough happen in my path, and it almost destroyed me because I'm instant manifesting. And if you're thinking about something negative, I don't think we can grasp where we're headed with these abilities. So we have to master certain things on our path, like staying positive and, focus learning how to focus our mind and our thoughts and things like that, because we're talking about going into these potential really high frequencies where we're going to instant manifest anything that we think about. If we're thinking about negative things, they can manifest into war and destruction. And I feel that we can see that in past times with some of the stories of the gods. And I know we've been taught this is mythology, but I believe it's our history with certain some of these stories from past times, and we can see maybe people weren't always getting along or weren't always positive and things like that. And so, this is a lot of our journey taking us back to this level of empathy and compassion so that we can unlock these abilities again. And a lot of you guys are feeling these abilities and just feeling sensitive to the energies, not feeling good, right? Maybe like you can't even go out in some of these places or it's affecting you. This is the beginning of these energies coming on. I love the label being an empath because I really resonate with that still, because I'm really empathic to other people's energies. But that's the beginning phases of coming into these abilities where we're realizing that we're sensitive to energies, other people's or the collective, or maybe just space energies and things like that. But these are our abilities that we're kind of learning how to tap and tune into for sure. So we talk about, I think that we're all healers on this feed anyway, right? The people awake, congratulations, you've been activated. You're going to get put to work doing a mission, right? And this is part of the process. And so I believe that we all have these abilities, and that in past times, the ones that were really powerful were more spiritually pure. And so it's really important that we are detoxing, not just our physical body. That's most important, because I don't think we realize how important our physical vessel is. Once it's damaged beyond repair, we leave, we die, right? So we don't realize how important just the physical vessel is, and that we need to continue to purify and detox. And then literally we need to detox our soul and our mind too. All right, I'm going to go because I got things going on clearly, but I swear I'll be back live again tomorrow. I am missing you guys. If you need me, you can always find my site